Tesla done tricked you. I can now confidently state. They claimed a Cybertruck could beat a Porsche 911 in the quarter mile while towing a Porsche 911. I made a video stating that it could not and guesstimated the Cybertruck's actual quarter mile time to be about 12.84 seconds. And here's the receipt from the drag strip actually testing it. And wow, how lucky am I, it did it in 12.84 seconds. But I do mean lucky because the Tesla is actually capable of going faster. But can it go fast enough to beat the Porsche? Let's back up a second. Tesla said they could do it. I said they couldn't. Then a Tesla engineer said they could in fact do it, but never actually attempted the full quarter mile test, suggesting it wasn't worth testing from a safety perspective. Well, guess who's self-employed and doesn't have a legal team putting safety constraints on them? Yeah, it's worth mentioning that we used the exact same trailer as Tesla used. I don't know what tires they were using that were only rated for 80 miles per hour, but the stock tires that the trailers are sold with are rated for 112 miles per hour, so we weren't concerned about tires. Now, that's not to say that I wasn't anxious. In fact, I was very nervous for my first run. My heart was pounding. You see, I don't have much towing experience. Sure, I've done it, but only very rarely. I've also never done it on a drag strip, where you have limited stopping distance. I've never towed above 80 miles per hour, and here we'd be pushing over 100 miles per hour, with a trailer that wasn't rated for the weight of the vehicle it was carrying. And it's carrying a Porsche that is rear heavy. The engine's in the back, so the weight is at the back of the trailer, a recipe for trailer sway at speed, which can be quite dangerous. If I'd had my way, I'd probably put the Porsche on the trailer backwards, but that's not how Tesla did it, so that's not how we did it. On top of this, I had 0 practice runs. Why? Because we wanted the battery at as high of a state of charge as possible and without the battery getting too hot. So after the drive to the track, we had a Ford Lightning on site to keep the battery charge high, so that the conditions for the first run were ideal, which was ran at 94% state of charge. It was in fact my best run, and a huge shout out to Motor Trend who did all the real work in setting up and executing this test. They are the best in the business and I was stoked to work alongside them. So for this video I want to answer 4 questions. First, is it even possible for the Cybertruck to win? We're going to take a first principles approach. Tesla's a big fan of first principles, so am I. We'll do the math. Next, why am I confident that the Cybertruck is not going to win? Third, how's my math? We're going to fact check my math from the previous video. And finally, was Tesla right? In other words, what actually happened in the drag race? Alright, starting off, is it even possible for the Cybertruck to win? So why do I ask this question? Well, a 911T with a manual transmission can do 0 to 60 in 4.3 seconds. That's with an average acceleration of 0.64 Gs. So if the Cybertruck's going to win this race, it's going to have to do it at the start, where it has the advantage at the launch and can accelerate quicker from a dig. Alright, well, in order for it to do that, it means it needs to be able to accelerate faster than 0.64 Gs. Is that possible? Now, normally if you're not towing anything, all of the Cybertruck's weight is resting on wheels that are driven because it has a motor in the front, has 2 motors in the back. So it can accelerate with both axles and thus can accelerate at maximum potential. Now, there's a trailer connected to it, so all of this weight cannot be used to accelerate, which means its peak acceleration is now limited. So you can look at the weights of the different components here involved, and you can find that about 66% of the vehicle's weight, including 10% tongue weight from the trailer, is resting on the driven wheels. So that's the potential that we have to work with. If you make some assumptions about the tires, it means you have a maximum acceleration possible of about 0.73 Gs.